Good afternoon. I am Hotung, and I've just returned with my wife, Mary, from the
SPCA
in Xingyi, whereby my wife donated a special training room for the animals. Now, my wife is a great admirer of Lady Clara Hotung, and Lady Clara Hotung is known for many things, but three of the ones that stick out for me is number one, the betterment education for young girls, especially in those days in the 1920s and 30s. Secondly, is she was part of the original movement for the Royal SPCA at that time, and animals, cats, dogs is one of her favorite projects. Lastly is Buddhism. She spread Buddhism in Hong Kong and promoted it to such an extent that today we have the Tongling Monastery, which in essence is the good works of Lady Clara. Now Mary, as the matron of the present Hotung generation, has continued these traditions of Hotung charitable works in these three areas. I really don't need to go too deeply into the Buddhist realm, as it's common knowledge in town, all her good works, whether it's fighting corruption or lifting temples up, holding Buddhist seminars, it all speaks for itself. I don't need to go into education. She's on a board of practically every Hotung school or Hotung associated school, helping the kids there. So I'll stick with the animals since we just got back from the
SPCA.
Again, it should be common knowledge, her recent good works. For example, she put up a financial reward for the return of 2 abused dogs from the Poling Monastery, and I think a month or two, the dogs were recovered, which is great. That led to contributions to PGRS. And of course, we took a cat from there to make its life better. And of course, recently, this donation that has set up the Mary Jean Hotung training room at Xingyi, that will just benefit a lot of the animals and help them transition from that center into the homes of people willing to adopt them. On March 15th, 16th, in Macau, whereby it was brought to Mary's attention that approximately 100 cats were going to be moved into China from Macau to an uncertain fate, I would say, and that's being optimistic. Bottom line, she reached out to all her fans, and all 100 cats are now safely adopted and home with their new owners. So that's a minor miracle in itself. So with the rescue of 100 cats in Macau, I'm very happy that Mary is moving Hotung charitable traditions forward. In 1923, Lady Clara set up the first dog shelter in Hong Kong. So 100 years later, Mary is, in essence, promoting Hotung values and traditions that also benefit Hong Kong as a society. As the matron in this generation, it just makes you feel very proud that Hotung traditions regarding animals, Buddhism, education for children are being moved forward and continued. So a century of traditions. So for Chinese people, this is very important. Lastly, I would like to thank Mary's fans for their incredible support, because we couldn't have moved the 100 cats without the help of Mary's fans. So thank you very much. God bless. Cheers.
So Xingyi, this particular location, we started looking in 2006. It took us 6 years to find a space and the consultations, and then COVID hit, and then we were stuck, and we only were able to launch last year. But this is a great place because in terms of location, it's for the inspector who's based here, it's only 20 minutes to Kowloon and Hong Kong, and also most of our rescues are in the new territories. We also have this mural, which is a Russian artist, so that anybody who comes from the Xingyi bridge here will see this as a very eye-catching artwork. So this rooftop is 5,400 square feet, and we are using this again to promote pet inclusivity because in this district we have a lot of residential places that don't have anywhere to bring their animals. So this is where they can come out on the weekends. They have doggy birthday parties, but we also are looking at refurbishing this area to have like a dog sensory garden. So that's something that we're building up. Additionally, we are looking at the pet's holistic life cycle. So one of the things that people don't talk enough about is pet bereavement. So on this rooftop, we are looking at fundraising for a pet memorial garden on the other side with pet memorial sanctuary, which we will host here as well. So we were talking about the center is like three big pillars. The first pillar is the vet services. We're very lucky as an NGO because our vet services account for 60% of our income. So to keep the lights on and operations. So it's very important to us that we offer really good and affordable healthcare for the pets in Hong Kong.
So they're not as expensive?
Definitely not expensive.
Okay.
And we also have like a very... our purpose is that for each dollar that you spend, it goes back into our business and back into supporting our welfare programs as well. Another aspect of our vet services is that we really want to promote prevention. And it's really to focus on how to lower the pain of all elderly animals and geriatric animals, so that you have things like hydrotherapy, you have physiotherapy, you have lasers, you have acupuncture, really a lot of the alternative options so that the animals can be a lot more comfortable. So this is like a back of the house. So we have this area where the general vaccination and kind of wellness check, but then if the animal needs additional lab tests, we bring them here and then they get prepared. So we're very lucky and that we have donors who had donated ultrasounds. We have one ultrasound that is more of the looking at the urine, gallbladder, but then we also have one that is pre-op, so pre-operations. The technology is like the image actually goes directly to the computer, whereas in the Wan Chai, we're still using cassette tapes. So we do want to upgrade our equipment. So if there's anybody who are interested in donating for equipment, we do have a long list as well. People don't take notice of like dental health. So if you can imagine like a dog or a cat, they go to like a public stream and then they drink and eat a lot of things from the ground. It's because there's a lot of virus that protects them. But once the animals are under anesthesia, those same viruses can be lethal. So if it goes into their bloodstreams or if there is infection, then it can be lethal. So what we hope to achieve with this room is that we're segmenting it so it kept clean. So it's sanitized before it's used so that they are protected, and also the animals, when they are being operated on, it doesn't infect the other side as well. We also wanted to highlight this ICU unit. So this is specially designed, so we have like the windows that you can take a look at when the staff is working. But more importantly is this is specifically designed so that the animals, when they are sick and they're weak, they don't have to do too much, and then they can have the medicines or oxygen just put it infused inside. We have like one of the cages, and you can also have like open it up for two, a larger cage, so it's more versatile. So the second pillar of our work in Tingyi Center is animal welfare. And a lot of people are like, what's animal welfare? Number one, we hope to protect the animals in terms of being in danger, in terms of abuse, or if they are being hit by a car or there's some kind of injury. So the first thing I wanted to introduce is the inspectorate. So the inspectorate is a 24 hours hotline that you can call in terms of if you see there is a dog that's injured. So
they're your staff?
They're our staff. Suspect a case of abuse, then you call them and then we go and rescue. And our staff goes, 40 degrees weather in like ravines and going into ditches. So we do support and rescue a lot of the animals, cats and dogs obviously, but we also rescue wildlife, and then we work with Kajori Farm to rehabilitate the wildlife. There's one animal which we don't do, which is snakes.
Snakes, okay.
Because of venoms. But once the animal comes through our doors, we have a triage. So we look at are they pregnant animals? Are they sick? And do they need immediate treatment? So this is like a human hospital. So when the animals come here, it's like a human hospital. We have a triage session where if they are sick or they need immediate medical attention, then they come here. Quite often, they have a lot of animals that are pregnant. So with the pregnant animals, they usually have a litter of like 4 or 5 kittens or dogs, and we are calling for volunteers to help them because those small animals, they have to be bottle fed every 2 hours. And then a lot of these volunteers, all we need is their passion and their time.
So they come here to do it, or they take the animal home?
They take the animal home. Another part of the animal welfare program is how do we address the issue of unwanted animals from the source. So animal desexing is quite a core program that we do. So for example, the Cat Colony Care Program, which we call CCCP, 25th anniversary this year. And we have helped about 85,300 cats during this time. So if you can imagine, a cat can get pregnant 5 times a year, usually about 3 times. And each time they have about 6 kittens. A dog can get pregnant 2 times a year, and each time they have about 4 pups. So if the animal population in Hong Kong, the stray animal population, goes unchecked, there would be a lot of nuisance, a lot of viruses, and a lot of unwanted animals. So what we do is to focus on cats. So the cat colony is working with volunteers who know the cats in their area, in their neighborhood. So they know how many their cats are there when they come in, and we work with those volunteers to capture the cat, bring them here for desexing, clip, microchip, and then we release them back in the wild.
Okay.
Now a lot of people say, well, why aren't they homed? Some of the cats are so used to the outdoor environment that they are, they'd rather be wild. So we want them to live out the rest of their life, but also have a controlled population.
Dog adoption. Sean, you be careful. If you see somebody you like again, every time you adopt someone.
This is Choo Choo. So if you have any friends that have larger spaces, I would highly recommend Choo Choo. We've taken out to some events with kids, and he's very gentle. So I do want to promote him because he's a larger dog. He's black, and also he's got 3 legs. So 3 strikes against him. So we're doing a lot to promote Choo Choo just because of his sweet disposition. People's habits are changing nowadays. So we have created an adoption app, which is kind of like swipe left, swipe right, and you can forward, you can save. But the idea is to have another platform to promote the adoption dogs and cats and fosters and to be a part of this whole journey. Okay. So technology is something that we are ramping up, and we hope more people to get aware of this and also to help promote the dogs like Juju. So this is the area that we really are very grateful. This is what we use for training. So this is something that we are using on a regular and a daily basis. The ones outside probably for workshops and here and there, but this the team uses on a regular and daily basis. There's 2 areas. One is the area inside, which is the room that is simulating a home environment, and 2 is that we're using the whole of this aisle so that the staff can interact with the dogs on a more regular basis. So that's why for the renovations we've added a gate here and also the gate on the other side. So this is the cat adoption area, and this Chingy Center is large enough so that we can design a cat area that people can go in and interact with the cats. And the cats are super active, so a lot of the times they can have the ability to jump up to the top. So when people are interested in adopting cats, one of the first things that we do is safety. You have to make sure that the house is safe, including the windows. So this coffee shop is actually a collaboration with SPCA. It's a social enterprise. I'm sure you know it from, there's a maritime museum, there's like St. John's Cathedral, and they offer a lot of support and career opportunities in the F&B industry for SEN, so special education needs.
I see.
Yeah, so it's very meaningful for us, and also it's quite important to have like partners who are in collaboration with us to promote like social enterprise as well.
Okay, so today my wife has received this lovely plaque from the SPCA and Louisa here. And so what do you think of our visit here?
Oh, it is amazing. Thank you so much for showing us around.
Thank you for coming.
Okay, well, as the present matron of the Hotungs, you'll be handling all the animal and Buddhist affairs, okay?
Sure.
All right,
Okay,
then.
if you like this program,
Please subscribe, comment, share, and like.
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Louisa.